All right, Granful. We are back. I funny story here. So when I originally recorded this video, I went back to look at the recording just to see how the audio was. Was there any clipping, or was the mic popping in certain ways? I always check just to make sure everything's fine. And I looked at this one, and the mic hadn't recorded a single bit of my voice at all. So this hour and 9-minute video of me talking is actually voiceover. I'm going to be doing play-by-play, my friend, from here on out. So, as you can see here, I am very artfully right-clicking and checking out the unit cost and whether or not they should be disbanded, and I very wisely disband that unit. It's a great disband by Nate Hall right there. Beautiful disband. And then I go over and I click a few soldiers, and then I check what kind of money I'm going to be making here. Money is very important for building armies, and you always want to check regions of the map, as I'm doing very studiously, that's a great word, very astutely, very studiously. I think that's what got me confused there. Tried to use both words at the same time. Okay, hopefully the gain in this program will fit appropriately, and my voice will not be too loud or too echoey. This is a different program. I'm using a movie maker right now to record this, rather than the recording that my graphics card does naturally when I just capture the video that I take. So as you can see here, Rohan continuing to just, pick its fucking nose. Armies are moving around. They're gonna maybe do something, but of course they won't. Let's see. Yep. Half stacks all over the place, and nothing going on at all. Let's see what Bree here does here. A lot of generals, little general spamming here. It's a pretty cheesy game, not gonna lie. The community looks down on general spamming. Yes, that was a fight that Bree won. Let's hope for some more armies coming out of the fog of war there. This is disappointing right there. Dunedain. Oh, okay. It's not disappointing. I really don't know what to think of what the Dunedain are trying to accomplish right now. They're moving around kind of like Mordor was many turns ago at the early part of this Let's Play, when they were just kind of moving back and forth in and out of Rohan, not really doing much of anything. Khazad-dûm making moves, expanding into that territory. Hopefully they can start producing some money. Hopefully they can take out that frickin' fort, man. I mean, come on, guys. Sending armies out into Dunedain lands? I don't know what that's going to accomplish. Okay. Woodland Realm. The Easterlings are going to be a whole nother can of worms. Here comes the inevitable here. Sauron has arrived. The Witch King is here. Random Orc General number 1256 is deciding to take the lead here.
We must defend these lands.
Random Orc General 1267 moving up. They're surrounding me. I don't know how this is going to go. If that one army attacks me, there is an opportunity for us to actually win. I don't know how it's going to work out, though. The grind continues. More stack spamming. It is nice, though. It seems that the Mordor AI here is just can't handle not being able to cross over the bridge of Osgiliath. So they're really kind of hamstrung, which was the whole point. That's why I attacked Osgiliath first, so that we would force Mordor east of the Anduin. Come on, we need more Bree armies getting into that fight. Something needs to start happening. Whoa. I don't know why I tried to sell that as if I didn't already know that. King of the Wood Elves is dead, and you would think that that would be the end of the faction, but it is not. Nate Hall assesses the various buildings that can be built, their prices, which one seems to be the most cost-effective choice. ATM, he goes with whatever that was. Solid choice by Nate Hall there, beautiful choice. I choose very strongly. My choices are always the best. And what's Nate Hall going to go through here, or go to here? Heavy Master Cirdan just kind of, living large in Ostinadil. I always default to the Anglo-Saxon pronunciation of that. I don't know why. I know it's Ostinadil. Edil. Right now, I think I'm trying to assess the level of fountains that I have, because if a general is in a city that has a certain level of fountain, he will eventually acquire an ancillary, which is a perk that allows him to have greater amount of soldiers healed at the end of a battle. So I'm kind of I'm reading here these descriptions and trying to see if it tells you whether or not you might have a chance of getting that ancillary, but it didn't tell me anything specific, so we don't know. I should have checked. I will do that in the next episode. I will check his ancillaries and I will see if he has, I believe it's the doctor perk. Once you get a doctor, you get like an extra X percentage of heals per battle, which is very important if you are playing as the elves, because your recruitment is of course very slow, and the unit numbers are lowish. So every little bit counts. Right here, I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to retrain these guys, and I think I retrain both of them. Let's see. Do I? Yes, I go with the retrain. So these Elder Inway units are, I think that's all the ones that I built. And these Sindar units are going to march south too, obviously. And now I'm going to count, I think, how many Eldar units I have. That's 4. And that's going to be... oh, wait, now I'm trying to see how many Sindar units I can send out. Yeah, so armies are on the move now. Yeah, and I'm going to get a couple garrison units going, because this army is going to be moving out pretty soon. And here, I'm going to make sure this garrison is at least somewhat filled, because last time Mordor broke through Khazad-dûm's east and west, and the only reason why I was able to fight them off, this was in a couple of those turns that I ended up not recording back in the day. So ever since then, I've kept a half stack in that fortress, just in case it happens again. Probably not necessary now since Khazad-dûm is doing pretty good now, but now they're, Sauron's in East Moria, or Sauron's in Karis Galadon, so if he ends up taking it, which is almost certainly going to happen, then he could march on Eastern Moria, and that could spell the end of Khazad-dûm. So I need to be ready for that.
This seems quite reasonable. Well, that seemed fruitful. Farewell. My lord.
Here I'm giving some money to my allies because my relations with them are still really bad, and I don't know why. And so I'm trying to see if I can improve relations a little bit by just giving them some money.
Seems like a most reasonable deal.
I don't know if that's even possible. The relationships here may actually be scripted. Once the ring is found, your friendship, your level of relationship goes down and stays down permanently. That is quite possible. I don't know. Assessing the armies here. Sauron doesn't look like he has much going on. He's got that unit of Olog High, which is definitely something. But other than that, the rest of his army didn't look that great. I'm looking around. Oh, yeah. Since the Woodland Realm clearly didn't fall, I'm trying to find their last settlement, which I thought would have been this little region of forest, but it looks like the Easterlings took it. So I'm trying to figure out where they could be. And so, yeah, I toggle the Fog of War so I can find out where their final region is, so I can send that guy there.
I am a warrior, not an emissary, my lord.
King Eupadion.
As much as you may wish it, I am not yours.
Now here, I'm probably talking about just how much Rune controls and how they're just so dominant. It's ridiculous. The one unfortunate thing about the West being as controlled as it is, Ered Luin, which at their current stage is a fairly impressive military power, being late-stage dwarven armies, they're kind of locked out by Khazad-dûm. So all their military power is not going to help us at all. And what I was probably saying when I was moving the mouse around there is that those little pockets of resistance with Erebor and the Anduin Vale, considering that Rune is going to be bottlenecked into that area, hopefully they can manage enough of a push just to kind of keep Rune busy, because even though they control all those territories in northern Mirkwood, they won't be able to use any of those territories to recruit people for a very long time. So, and here I'm trying to do, I'm trying to find out what the cursor location is so I can cheat move my diplomat to get into diplomatic relations with the elves, because I just want to ally myself with them. But I can't figure it out, and I was wondering if I was showing, I was spelling cursor wrong. I don't think I was. I'm actually going to take a moment to look that up right now. Show a cursor. Stat. Total War. Show, yeah, C-U-R-S. Oh, O-R. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay. Never could spell. So at this point, I think I gave up. I wonder what I'm trying to say right there. Can't remember. Anyway. Play-by-play. Nate Hall's attempt to spell cursor. Very, very poor form there. Really needs to work on that.
Stopping.
Needs to go back to 4th grade. Still can't retrain anything here. I just can't believe it. I think what I end up doing here is I think I combine a couple armies or a couple units so I can get a garrison spawn when I'm finally besieged. Belralthian. I'm gonna hunt for the army that might be hiding in the forest there, so I'm going to look for him.
You will not see us in the forest. Onward! You will ruin these trees no longer.
I'm gonna stick you.
So that those two armies are not attacking Eladon because they know that even combined, they don't have a chance to beat me. So the AI only attacks you if there's a 1-to-1 chance or better that they will win based on the auto resolve. So they're just waiting to see what happens, and they're maybe going to combine with that half stack there and try and attack me. But I don't think I'm going to give him a chance. I think there's going to be a fight coming here.
Follow me. Scout the area.
So, Valpamiukon, finally home. Weary. He can take a load off. How tired must this guy be? He spent so much time fighting.
Yes, my lord. Swiftly. Reinforcements. Come on.
You can see right there how siege equipment really slows down your armies, because your army can only move as far as the slowest unit, right? That makes sense. So siege equipment obviously moves slowly, and so having siege in your army slows down how quickly they can, get around. Okay, so right now I'm selecting the units that I'm going to send north into Eregion to get retrained.
Elven warriors.
I'm picking one of each unit.
Yes, my lord. Elven warriors.
Oh, I'm sending those guys to Isengard. And I think I'm going to send the rest
Come, my brothers.
up north. I think that's what I'm going to do.
For the light. Yes, my lord. Swiftly. They will not see us.
Sire, my lord.
For the light. Onward. Be vigilant. Elves. Yes, my lord. Elves. Come on.
So really good that I can retrain that unit. That's just another high-powered unit that can go right back into the fight here pretty soon. And I think at this point, now that that unit's retraining, I can retrain, or I can send all those Eldar units south. And so I'm counting to see how much I have. So 1... I miscounted the first time. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
For the light.
That's 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, that's 18. That's what I want. And then the 2 siege units. So what I decided was it's better to have this army move south as quickly as possible because we just need them in the fight. So it's not worth those extra 2 turns for those last 2 units. Plus, I don't need them because my army's already as maxed out as it could be. So now this badass army is preparing, and you can see how much money I aim to lose here now that all those units, very, very expensive units, have marched out. They no longer have free upkeep. And Cirdan is no longer in Ostinadil, so it's now making half the money it was making previously, as you can see. And now it's not even... the population is still going down. I'm actually thinking about making Ostinadil the capital. Since it's more centrally located, it might be better if that were the case. I might make more money. I'm going to check that out also the next time I play. So what do I have to do? The 2 things I have to do. I have to see if Ostinadil is a better location for a capital.
For the light.
And then I have to do something else. And I completely forgot what it was. I think we're going to do an end turn here. Where was I sending this diplomat? To go talk to Mordor? I don't know why I would send him all the way over there. Maybe I send him to the Black Gate just to kind of keep an eye on things. Rohan, wheel spinning the faction. They should change their faction icon from a horse. Whoa. Nice. Another Bree army coming in. Love it. They should change their faction. Another one. Good. from a horse head to a hamster head. Why did he turn around? Whoa. So they're moving down there. I wonder how that fight goes at Gund. I wonder if when the Dunedain will take it and what they will do after that. Nice, finally, Jesus Christ. It took way too long to get that fort. Way too long. I'm surprised Khazad-dûm isn't taking it to Mordor more aggressively. They've got a whole bunch of stacks just waiting. They could march on Lynn here pretty quickly. Is that their faction leader? That's a large army. Man. What is that? What are those guys doing? Just musical chairs over there. He was trying to go to Calenad, but he found me. Yeah, Mordor just doesn't know what to do. They're trying to send troops to protect Osgiliath, but they can't. And now there are lots of Bree armies in Western Gondor, which is great. That's going to cause a threat. That's going to be a distraction. Oh, what's this Nazgul going to do? Just hang out there? Fucking rebels. Ooh, this is good. Thranduil's realm feels the press of darkness more as of late. The shadow has woken, and dark creatures have claimed the bout of Erengallon, the bow? I don't know what that is. For themselves. But the Sylvan people shall not give up their homes lightly, gathering behind their Sindar lords. They have amassed an army, the size of which has not been seen since Orifer marched to the Daggerlad. Let the enemy's hosts tremble, for Mirkwood will grow darker soon, as the archers of the woodland realm blot out the sun with their arrows. Parents' Hall's besieged. Lost money. As you can see, I'm only making about $5,000. I've gone from making 10 to 15 grand a turn to just 5. That's why I've been making a point to not make too many armies, because as soon as a big army like the one I just moved out of, Ostinadil, gets no more free upkeep, you just lose so much cash because the Eldar units are so expensive to maintain in the field. Fantastic clicking by Nate Hall right here. Such precise mice movements. Mice? Mouse? Mises? Moses? What am I going to do? What will he do? Always the cheaper option. By the way, my building strategy is least expensive thing with a default to economics. So if I come across two buildings that are both the same in price, more or less, one is military and the other is economic, I always go for the economic building first. That's just what I do. I have a strategy. Except when in certain places where, like, if I just took a territory that's kind of close to enemy territory or in the heart, or it's like at the middle of an invasion, I might build certain types of buildings that'll help me specifically in that moment. But, oh nice, I can retrain. I should have retrained that archer unit. I don't know why I didn't do that. I should have. I think it's because it was $700 and I didn't want to spend that much cash right away, because you can always get the retrain when the unit takes damage and then you send them back to get reconstituted, the unit reconstituted, it will add the armor upgrade to the unit reconstitution. So you will eventually get it, and you can get it at a more effective price when you do it that way. So it's one of those things where, do you want it now, or do you want it a little bit more efficiently later? I usually err on the side of cost efficiency. What is in?
Yes, my lord. Onward! For the light! Swiftly! At ease! Elves! Come on!
How many?
For the light! Elves! Onward! Be vigilant. Follow me.
And the reason why it's better to hold out on making a unit sometimes, when considering, do I want to just make a fresh unit, or do I want to retrain an old unit? If you retrain an old unit, you keep the experience that they have, and the experience that they have provides them with better melee weapon damage, and I think better defense, possibly. I don't know about the defense part, but it definitely gives them better melee weapon damage. And it does the same thing with archers, which is a bug. So if you the experience that archers get only affects their melee weapon damage. It doesn't affect their arrow damage. Why? I don't freaking know. But if you lose a unit, you lose all the experience that they have, and you use the weapon upgrade that they already have. So if you can hold on to that unit and retrain it instead of making a fresh one, you can send a better unit back into the field than you would have had you just sent a fresh one that you had made from scratch. So that's why you want to be strategic with making new units and retraining old ones. Here is where I combine some units now, because I think that Nazgul army is going to attack me. So I want the 3 Elven defenders that I got in the fight at Lorien. And the only way to get them is if there are 3 slots available for them to fill in the city. So I'm combining a couple. And when you combine units, like what I'm doing, you can only combine them if they have the same weapon and armor stat. So I have to find... if I'm going to combine that silver shield and bronze sword axe unit, I have to find another axe unit with a silver shield and a bronze sword. And what happens to their experience is that it takes the average of the two. So if you have one with low experience and one with high experience, and you combine them together, you're going to get mid experience for the two. And not for the two, I should say, for the unit that it gets combined into.
Yes, my lord. For the light! Yes, my lord. Elves!
My lord?
Elves! Yes, my lord? Come, my brothers!
All right, so I know you like the strategy map stuff, so you got to see quite a few strategy map stuff with some commentary, and now we're going to get into a fight here with some guys that have really no chance of success. 2000 versus 2000, but it's not even going to be close. The Horn of Gondor. Boromir. I think I take an opportunity to check this army out because they're fresh. Just look how awesome they are, the Eldar units. Easily the best looking faction in the game by far. In my humble opinion. And those are the Mithlin Nobles, the most badass unit probably in the game. No, other than the... they have a defense of 39, as you can see, and Trolls have a defense of 42. So, ha 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 ha. The only thing they don't have is a high attack. They have the defense, they have almost the defense of Trolls. Belrouthian is a handsome man, or elf. But I'm not gay or anything. So, Face, actually, a few tips to put everybody in those groups. You just select all of them using Shift or Control, and then you hit Control 1 to make Group 1, and Control 2 to make Group 2, and Control 3 to make Group 3, just in case you didn't know. And, by the way, archers who are in a group, if you select the whole group and then tell them to shoot at one enemy unit, they will not all shoot at that unit. They will shoot at whatever it is they were shooting at before. It's a glitch. What you have to do is you have to individually select each individual battalion and have them fire at whatever enemy battalion you want them to fire at. So, even though you put them in a group in order to, like, keep them in order and keep them moving in a particular order, or just, like, organized on your UI, they will not attack in order based on your group controls. They have to be individually controlled still.
This way, archers. Elves, over here. Elves, over here. Elves, over here. Right close.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a pretty solid army here. I really like not having siege units, I have to say. As much as siege units are really important when you're fighting Mordor because they have great beasts and trolls that can really only best be taken down with ballista. It looks better when you have all the units maxed out, or when you have the surface area of an army maxed out like this one is. It just looks cooler. It also helps having a few more soldiers that can actually fight in battle rather than 2 siege battalions that are really only good at attacking one type of enemy. So something else that you may have picked up from playing and from listening to me talk just kind of over the course of the entire game is that anytime you attack a unit, anytime you attack an army, the army that is getting attacked always starts always starts at the top of an elevation, where the attacking army is always at the bottom of an elevation. So one of the things you have to try and do is try and get the high ground like I'm doing here. They're running away to the high ground, and instead of following all the way to where they are, I'm kind of taking a nearby high elevation, forcing them to kind of come back to me. And we play this kind of like cat and mouse game of getting maintaining a higher ground without attacking one another. And so once I feel like the elevation is a little bit more even, like I don't have to march super uphill to get to them, then I kind of slowly approach them, which is what I'm about to do here. Now, once I get up to the top of this hill, it's basically a flat plain. They still have the high ground, but it's very minimal. And because I will be within archer range, my archers will start firing at them. And because they don't have superior range, the AI knows that the only way to keep from getting losses is to engage me in melee. So they'll charge, knowing it's the only way to keep them from just sitting back and getting peppered by archer fire. So one nice thing about having superior archer range with either catapults or better archers, you can force the enemy to come to you even when they're in a superior defensive position. And that's always what you want to do. You always want to be the one making your enemy make decisions. You always want to force them to make decisions they don't want to have to make. You want them to lose the high ground. You want them to get to engage your superior melee line. Although in this case, they're gonna close the gap probably pretty quickly since our armies are not that far apart from one another. Yeah, so now they're starting to take arrow fire and they're not sure what to do. And my line is so large that we've actually got some high ground here. Right now I'm trying to see if my archers have the range to attack everybody, but I didn't. It ended up not being an issue because they came at me anyway. So everybody will be in range shortly.
We will defend the Elven lands. Advance. We will defend the Elven lands. This is the way. Saddle up, lancers. Be quick. Stay on.
And just so you know, in order to see where your units are headed like that before you place them, all you have to do is hit space, and it'll show you where all your units are either standing or are going to stand based on their current marching orders. So if you want to know where to set guys up that are currently moving and you're not exactly sure where they're going to be, just hit space and it'll show you. Mordor has a really cool battle horn or charge horn. So as of this moment, I turn off, I tell them to stop firing because I know
The battle is very much in our
all my my melee forces are about to engage all these units, and I don't want my archer fire to kill any of my own men. So as you can see here, with just kind of like general battle strategy, which you've probably been picking up on because I do kind of the same thing. You want to set it up so that your infantry can fight on their own without you having to worry too much. So you can micro your archers and your cavalry effectively.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Now we're going to see a nice charge here. Right into the back of these guys. Look at 80 men were there. And it's now... it probably was cut in half. We probably killed 40 men in that one charge. So many. They just melted like butter. They're routing. The reason why it's always good to mop up those troops is because you never want them to get away. Those are just units that can go and fight another day, and the more you destroy, the higher the likelihood that the entire army will dissolve after the defeat. So I charged into these halberds because I thought I could do a number on them, and I did a decent number. It cut their morale in half. It's always, you never want to charge halberds in the front because obviously their long stakes are good at... Wow, but I lost... Where did I lose those 32 men? In the fighting those archers? Or what? I didn't lose 32 men. My Sindar, excuse me, my Elder and my cavalry right there went from 41 to 32 units. I don't know when they died. How they died. I know they were fighting archers for a little bit, but I don't think they were. So can't let that army get past me and go over to Kalanad. Yeah, see, I just noticed those guys took lots of damage. I was like, how did they... And I didn't even get a single heal, which was weird.
Yes, my lord.
Elves! Elven warriors!
Yes, my lord.
Elves!
My lord.
Elves!
Engage! We protect the Elven lands.
Oh, yeah. So now I'm like, what do I do? Do I hit Minas Tirith and siege it out? Because I'm so close? Or do I take out that army first? And I think I decide that it's better to take the army out because I can't risk it going over to Kalanad and besieging it. Or the Dunedain will definitely never come. So I'm like, it's better. You got to take the risk.
Come, my brothers. Scatter them.
It's only a quarter stack. Not even. Captain Muslug. Balrouthian the Handsome.
Wipe the blight from this land.
You have entered the realm of the Lady of the Wood. You cannot go back.
Units, await my orders.
The dwarf breathed so loud we could have shot him in the dark. Since this was only, oh, excuse me. Since this was only a small force, I don't take a ton of time getting everybody situated, as you will see. I don't really remember how this battle went. Obviously, it's a win, and it's going to be decisive, but I want to say that, like, I don't think a single battalion got to my melee line because they were just, like, shredded by my archer fire, and one cavalry charge, maybe? See what happens. As you can see, they're pushing space, shows me where they're going to walk to. As you can see, as soon as they know they're going to start taking major losses by standing there, they charge to cut out the archer. And as you can see, I select them all individually to take out those halberds, because those halberds are armor piercing and they're going to do a number on our high armored units. So I have my best archers shoot at them. I regrouped them just so I could see them, knowing that the army isn't going to move at all from here on out.
The battle is very much in our favor. Victory will be ours.
Those halberds are just getting shredded by my archers.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Surprised that I forgot to flank that one army with those 2 units to the side. Those archers are still just crushing those guys. Now I flank him.
Our men have slain the enemy.
And then
Without him, his troops will lose their will to behold how our cowardly
there it
foe
is.
runs. It's time to press the attack.
And then, of course, I make sure my archers stop firing, because they'll keep firing at all of the bad guys out there in the field. And, of course, your men are running out there cutting down the routed units. And they're going to take all that archer fire, so you want to make sure they stop. Are they going to catch him? Nope, but my cav will. Bam.
This is a clear
7 kills. And 2 of them healed, so really only 5 deaths. I was trying to figure out who this was in this image, because it looks old enough to be Theoden, but Theoden had a white horse, right? Snowmane was a white stallion. So is that like supposed to be Éomer? Some, a different artist interpretation of Éomer? Or another Rohirric commander of some kind? Who knows? And then a nice little surprise here, Grand Fool. Unfortunately, Belrathian did not get an increase to his command abilities, but look at that. Minas Tirith Still in striking distance, my friend. And so what do I do?
I'm gonna stick you.
What do I do? Na 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 Nah. So Mordor looks like it has about three banner armies in this region. Obviously, some of them are a little scattered. So they only have like a half stack, a 3/4 stack, and another basically full stack. Right now, I think I'm wondering whether or not I should try and hold the western bank myself, or if I should give something to the Dunedain, because I may have said this before, but I'll say it again. Only the Dunedain or a Dunedain faction, so that's Gondor, Dol Amroth, or the Northern Dunedain, can rebuild Western and Eastern Osgiliath. The elves cannot, even with all of their might. It's just a byproduct of the way the game is coded and how the modding team has kind of cleverly created custom UI cities like Minas Tirith and Minas Morgul and all that kind of stuff. They have to limit the total number of tiers of city and castle that each faction can get, and then make some of those top tiers custom-looking settlements. And that works for the Dunedain factions, but the elves don't have that. So even though they have the skill and the money to rebuild Osgiliath, they can't actually do it based on the realities of the mod. So I'm wondering whether or not I should try and give it back to the Dunedain again. And as you can see, I am within striking distance of Minas Tirith, so I strike Minas Tirith. And if I am not mistaken, that is going to be it for this episode, or pretty close. Yeah, we've got just a few minutes left, so let's see what I do here. I'm counting up the number of Sindar units I have, so that's 6. And how many do I have fully trained here? So 7. That's 5, so that's 12. And look at all the gold armor there. They're pretty badass. 14. And that's 6 for 20. So that's a full banner army that can march. That can march east with Valpamiukon. And then, of course, we're just waiting it out in Lorien there. Will Caris Galadhon fall? We shall see.
Elves.
Oh, and by the way, one of the reasons why the map lags right there is because you've selected a unit and you're moving around, and the game in the background is actually calculating where to move that unit if you were to select that region. So if your game starts to lag when you're moving around, it means you just need to deselect the unit by clicking away from them, and it'll stop trying to calculate where to move it in the background. So Edoras, as you can see, there is 64% Northman culture, so it's almost ready to start bringing back the best units that Rohan can provide. So soon, I think Rohan will be able to field very impressive armies. Maybe in the next 10 turns. hopefully sooner than that, but I have to check the culture of all those units first. Oh, and we're going to toggle the Fog of War just to see what's going on here. Okay, so Bree's got some armies moving around. Those large armies are going to Thuragrondos. I don't know if it will be taken or not. But Gund is being besieged by one impressive Dunedain army and one half stack.
I would fight for your people as if they were my own.
Actually, that's a full stack that's at half strength with a general. So I don't know how that's going to go. Especially if Gund has any great beasts. Great beasts, because of their high hit points and their high armor, have a disproportionately high effect on the auto resolve. So the game cannot adequately calculate the effect that great beasts actually would have on a battle. So if you have great beasts in your army, you're almost certainly going to win if you have a decent enough support around them, just because their defense is so high and their attack is pretty high. So I'm trying to see if Rohan's at war with Mordor, and they are, which is good. So if we see here that Rohan has quite an impressive standing army. They have a 3/4 stack there. That's basically at full strength. And then you've got a 1/3 stack right over there. And then another 1/3 stack. You've got almost a 3/4 stack there. You've got a half stack. So, I mean, another half stack in Bregnus. So, I think the reason why they haven't been more aggressive is because that large Mordor territory just sitting in the middle of whatever that region is. I think that's formerly Enidwaith. I don't know, but that one little island of Mordor control in Gund is keeping Rohan's AI too skittish. They're like, oh no, we need to have armies here just in case. And once the Dunedain take out that army and let Rohan's AI relax, then they'll start sending forces to take on Mordor, and I think things will change pretty significantly. Well, at least they should. So, we're getting close to the end here, Face. Mordor's got some armies, but if Rohan can get into the mix with Mordor, along with Khazad-dûm and me and the Dunedain and Bree, it's going to be over. It's just a matter of time at that point. The victories will compound exponentially, but right now we're just kind of in a slog, a steady positive incline, but the dam will break hopefully within 10 turns. But I know turns are at a life age of the earth, to coin a phrase, in this playthrough, because there's just so much going on. But, yeah. We'll see if Karis Galadhon can hold, but we'll have to wait till next time, Face. All right? I will talk to you later.